Hello, race friends. Welcome to Freaky Fast Broadcasting, where tonight we're proud to bring you the Arca Evolution Series here at Chicagoland Speedway. The Arca Evolution Series is brought to you by their proud sponsor of Ford Nissan Central, the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. I'm Zach Hall, and tonight joining me in the booth will be Brandon Colley here calling the action alongside me, and we'll have Robert Moyer Jr. calling the show and controlling all the beautiful camera shots we have here tonight at the Chicagoland Speedway. It should be a fantastic night of racing here. We got 45 laps, and man, I cannot wait to get this thing kicked off, guys.
Yeah, Zach, it should be a lot of fun. You know, these cars, especially here at Chicagoland, they can get a little bit loose and really have to wheel them. It's always pretty fun to watch.
It definitely can be, Kyle. You're exactly right. This track can be a handful, and it can put on some amazing racing, as sometimes this place can have some multi-crew, so hopefully we can see that coming here tonight for the Arca Evolution Series here at Evolution Racing League. It should be a wonderful night here, as we got about 2 minutes and 34 seconds left here in practice before we head into qualifying, and we're proud to be broadcasting the Evolution Racing League here tonight. So man, it's going to be a really good race. And we got a lot of strong drivers out here putting down some really good times early on, and we'll have to see what they can do here in qualifying, because qualifying will be pretty crucial with this short amount of laps tonight.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Zach. You know, they've only got the one set of tires over the course of this race, so if you can qualify up front and not have to burn the first set you have starting the race up just trying to get to the front, it gives you a little bit of an advantage, because you're not going to be able to do too much pit strategy to use fresh tires to get back to the front.
Yeah, it'll be very crucial how these guys plan out their strategy here tonight. Definitely the Chicagoland Speedway. It's, you know, with being able to go 28 laps is the information we got here on the fuel run here tonight. So you're looking at a one-stop strategy here, but you definitely, if the cautions fall right, if we get a few cautions and they fall right, you can save a set of tires. I can tell you this track really does eat the tires off, so we could see some amazing climbs through the field. Whoever decides to save a set maybe early, or you know, who decides to go on a set early and gets the, you know, doesn't, we go green to the end. It's going to be really down to timing, and it should be very fun as these guys continue their practice run here. And I just want to give a little background for this first night here. We're bringing the Evolution Racing League here with their Arca Evolution Series. So the way this all works is this is actually a feeder series to both their Cup and their Truck Series here at the Elite Racing Leagues. They have a charter system in their Cups, so the Cup teams are allowed to sign an Arca driver to their Cup team as like a reserve driver, and then say if a slot opens up for their Cup Series at some point where a driver leaves in the Cup Series, you can sign an Arca driver. So this is the path for these guys to get to the Cup Series, which we'll be bringing to you after this wonderful race here tonight. And it's really cool. It'll see, you know, how they can really nurture the talent and bring it up nice in a nice way. I think it's a really cool format they have going here, man.
Yeah, it really promotes, especially with just the short races. You know, you kind of have to be aggressive. It's more like a sprint, and you know, these guys are all trying to prove that they've got speed, that they're worth, you know, getting signed to a Cup team so that they can run in the Cup Series with a lot of these other guys. So I'm expecting a lot of door-to-door racing here, and it may be a few bumps and bruises along the way, but you know, we'll have to see how it goes.
Definitely is, as practice is ending right as we speak now, and these guys will head off into qualifying, and they're going to try to put down 2 of their best laps they can here tonight to be able to qualify up front. Like we said, I think track position is going to be pretty key here early on, so whatever we can do to get that qualifying lap as best as possible is going to really help your chances tonight here at the Chicagoland Speedway. We can see a few drivers already pulling off a pit road, starting their qualifying laps here tonight. So let's see who can do it, and we'll see who can be the Sheffield Graphics pole winner here tonight.
Well, looking at the practice results, you know, I'm got my money on the 35 of Byron McDonald. You know, he was really fast in practice. Really liking his paint scheme as well. Nice Bill Elliott throwback McDonald scheme, fitting of the name, I must say.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a good thing to point out there. It is very fitting for the name of BJ McDonald there. That McDonald scheme, throwback to old Bill Elliott for sure. And yeah, we'll see what he can back up that practice time. You know, You know, in the Cup Series, we're used to seeing practice times not really being too much due to the draft. So with these cars, it's not as big a deal. So we could see some transfer over from the practice speeds to this qualifying. But we'll have to see how it plays out here as these drivers take on this mile-and-a-half racetrack here in Chicago.
As the first times are coming in now, Caleb Killer with a 31.01, pretty good first lap. Scott Taylor now 31.2 on his first lap. Should pick up, I think, you know, maybe 3/10 from their first lap to their second. So we'll see how much those guys can improve.
Definitely should. There's Randy Cornwell pops himself into the second spot in that leaderboard there in that 18 machine at a 31.08. And look, Caleb does pick up time there. Caleb Kiloff, sorry about that. Caleb Kiloff, they're picking up time on the second lap, but look at Richard Fletcher. He pops to the top of the board with a 30.97. So great laps being put down here early in the qualifying.
Zach, looks like we still have about 6 or 7 guys yet to take a time. Might be waiting to see if the track time's going to cool down a little bit. I know it's a strategy I use, but sometimes the track ends up getting hotter and it doesn't work out for you.
Yeah, you definitely want to try to catch that cloud. As look at Zach Sandlin taking the top spot there with a 30.94. Not the fastest time we've seen all night here at the Chicagoland Speedway. We'll have to see if anybody can back up their practice time, but right now that's on top of the board.
Yeah, looking at it, I guess I was a little bit off by how much they've gained. I suppose track temp's gone up a little bit. Not quite as much grip as they'd like, but still put down some pretty quick laps.
Such close times all through this top 10 here. Really only about 2/10 separating our top 10, really even down to the top 12. So close times here at the Chicagoland Speedway. Let's see what's going on here as we got about 2 minutes left in this qualifying and we will get this race kicked off. I'm excited to watch this one tonight, man. I always enjoy Chicagoland. It's one of my favorite racetracks.
Oh yeah, apart from, you know, Atlanta and Darlington, as I always say, are my 2 best tracks. Chicagoland is a solid third. I really love this place. It's a lot of fun. It's a handful. You know, you have to approach both set of corners differently. Turn 3 and 4 has got its own unique challenges with the bumps where you're trying to, you know, really hug that inside line. But if you hit them bumps wrong, car's not going to turn, and turn 4 wall, it comes at you pretty quick if you miss that corner. So.
That is for sure, and it's also one of the weirdest. Also, you know, on house, it's a little different. You know, you've got the curved front straightaway, the D-shaped oval, but also the back straightaway it's not very straight. It's actually pretty curved down the back straightaway, so it always is a little bit of an interesting track in my opinion. Turn 2 is very open, and you seem like you can really carry the speed off of there, while turn 4 is a tighter exit, and it seems like you can really knock that wall down very easily. As we have 17 drivers putting down time so far. We have 3 that have not. So right now, Zach in the 50.057 is still sitting on top of the board with that 30.94, looking very, very strong.
You know, less than a 10th separating the first 3, and then even back to, you know, 10th place. It's really, really close times. It just tells me that on the restarts, especially drop the green flag, it's going to be interesting to see how you know, how passive these guys are going to be with how close the tires are, and you know, maybe some guys are going to take it easy and see if they can pick up a little bit if these front guys decide to go hard and burn up the set off the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, this track is definitely a tire management track too. So, like you said, you know, you could decide to go take off out there and burn yourself up, but it could be very detrimental to your race as you only have one set in that pit road. And look at that. There is the end of qualifying, guys. And we have Zach Sandlin on the pole. He's your Sheffield Graphics pole winner here tonight in the Arca Evolution Series here at Chicagoland Speedway. What a lap from him.
Yeah, just squeaking out Richard Fletcher. You know, not the closest, but you know, less than a 10th. That gap is really hard to imagine. But in a car, you know, it's probably about 4 or 5 feet, I'd imagine, over the nose of the 43 of Fletcher there. So on the racetrack, pretty close times.
Definitely. So we will head to our grid here tonight. And on the grid up front, as I said, is Zach Sandlin there with your Sheffield Graphics pole winner. Second will be Richard Fletcher. Third will go to Caleb Killoff. Fourth is Josh Holmes. Fifth is going to go to BJ McLeod. Sixth is James Courtrone. Seventh is Michael Sheffield. Eighth will go to Randy Cornwell. Ninth is Jeff Carson. 10th is Scott Taylor, rounding out your top 10 there. 11th is Kevin Zalabdil. Sorry about that, Kevin. 12th is Bob Fitzpatrick. 13th is Kevin Dowd. 14th is Rusty Modesty. 15th is Justin Malarkey. 16th will go to Steve Potter. 17th is Steven Rasek. 18th is Matt Opbrock. 19th is Ryan Ezel. And 20th will go to Michael Peru. And that is our field here tonight. Our 20 guys here in the Arca Evolution Series. And we will get a talk in here with our pole winner, as we're going to grab him from his Team Clutch Motorsports room here and see what he has to say about winning the pole here today. Hey, Zach in the booth, buddy, you got a copy? It looks like you got your mic muted, Zach. If you can unmute it for us, bud, that'd be awesome. Well, I don't got Zach at the moment, our pole winner here. I think he's trying to figure it out. This is taking off on the grid, but he is our Sheffield Graphics pole winner here tonight for the Arca Evolution Series, and we will, I guess, talk to him later as he having a little mic issue right there, but we'll figure that out here as we go to pace laps here to get this race kicked off tonight here at Chicago.
Zach, listen to, I think this was a technical issue with Discord, so I think they're going to get that sorted out for future, so we don't have to run into those problems again. But yeah, I'm super excited to get this thing going. It really doesn't have much to do with the actual racing, but I'm just enjoying seeing all the new paint schemes and the way these guys are tailoring up these Arca cars. You know, I've seen Pontiacs. We've even got a Nissan Nismo GTR in the field, so that's pretty cool.
Well, I'm sure Nissan Central will be very proud of that tonight. So that's awesome to see out there, have the Nissan there out there on the track. That's really cool. Yeah, that's one thing that's really, really cool, man, like you're saying about these Arca cars, as that pace car is going to take the hard left turn down the pit road, and we're going to get action kicked off here for the Arca Evolution Series. Green flag is in the air. Zach Sandlin will lead us to that green flag there as he crosses the start-finish line. Let's see how this goes, guys. We got a great race here tonight. 45 laps, one set of tires. Let's see who can come out your winner.
It looks like top four got a really good start. We got the number 5 with Michael Sheffield moving to the inside of the 009 to try to take over that 5th spot. Once they get really wound up to speed here, we'll see if anybody can make that high line work, especially through 3 and 4. It seems to work pretty well there.
Yeah, I definitely think that could come in here for sure. And look at Caleb already in the 10 machine there. Caleb Killoff, he says, I want to take the lead early and often here as he leads the first lap of this race down into turn 1 side by side with Zach in the 57 there.
Looking at BJ McLeod getting a little loose. Tires still not quite up to temperature. Hangs on to it, though, losing a little bit of time. But I was going to point out, you know, he would look like the only car that was really cutting the front stretches. They're going to go 3 wide into 3.
Yes, they do. 3 wide into 3 there to 35 of BJ McDonald on the inside of, I believe, sorry, that is Josh Holmes there, yes, or Michael Sheffield there in the 5. So yeah, very spread out racing here going on so far through the field as they complete lap number 2.
And it looks like some of these guys, Zach, are struggling with handling early on. Unfortunately, you know, with a short race like this, you don't have a lot of time to really figure it out, you know, where your car needs to run to be happy. So these guys are going to have to, because we got one car in the back that just hit the wall pretty hard. There's Rusty Modesty.
Yeah, Rusty Modesty there. His hood is actually pinned to the front of his windshield, so he's going to have a tough time seeing there, driving around this racetrack in that 069 there. That's a tough start for Rusty there, as you know, they do not have fast repairs here, so that is hard, heavy damage there as he's coming up on the 00 or the 002 there of Steven Rasek. So he's gonna have to come down pit road this time and get that car worked on because he cannot see.
Yeah, and just as I was saying, these guys having to work on figuring out the handling of these things. He just got a little bit loose, a slight overcorrection. That little bit of overcorrection sometimes it's all it takes. Bad bit of luck for him this early in the race.
Definitely some bad luck here to start off. Now we're looking from the back number cam of the number 10 of Caleb Killoff here. He's looking strong so far. He's put a nice little 1.3 second gap over the field. And other than that, the fields kind of stuck back there together with Zach in the 057. They're right in front of Randy Cornwell in the 18 and 8. That looks like the 22, I believe. Or that's Randy Cornwell. He's got different numbers on his car. That messed me up. But yeah, Randy Cornwell there. He's going by that number 18 machine as we see a 22 on the broadcast. And yeah, he goes up into the second position from that 8th starting position. So a big mover so far. And behind that, BJ McDonald there in the 035. A little contact between him and the pole setter of the 057 is Zach Sandlin right behind that. And that's going to let BJ McDonald get right by Zach.
Yep, they're spreading it out a good bit. Once the tires really get worn in and having more off throttle time, you'll get this kind of separation. And looking at the lap times, Caleb slowed down a little bit. Looks like he's got the best lap of the race so far with a 31.1. And Randy in second best lap of a 31.17. So they're running pretty even. But it looks like Randy is just a couple tenths quicker per lap. Either Caleb's backing off or maybe he just went after it a little bit too hard second.
That's one thing you can definitely do for sure here at the Chicagoland Speedways. That's what I'm really expecting to see, a little bit of a comers and goers effect here. Some guys who started a little farther up, maybe will drop back, lose a few positions here early, and you're going to see them try to drive back through with the better tires there as they manage them. As we look at Scott Taylor in the 24 machine there, going down the front straight into turn 1. It's definitely a management game. You got to play it very well here at Chicagoland. This place, you can go out there and run super fast laps like you're saying Caleb was. Now Randy is starting to put down the better laps, so we'll have to see if he can continue to close that gap for between first and second.
And looking at it now, all the way back up to 9th and 10th position, everybody else is really strung out, and that's really where the battle is at the moment. Those guys, from 8th up, they really got a chance now to just figure out the line they need to run to get a good pace and not burn up their stuff. Where these guys 9th, 10th, and back, they're still having to battle and maybe burn up a little bit more tires than they're like.
Definitely so. As we look at the number 5 of Michael Sheffield here, he started in the 7th position. He's back to 9th. We'll have to see if he can claw his way back up here. Maybe saving on little tires as he's in front of the 17 of Kevin Zalabdul. There in the 10th position with Justin Malarkey there running in 11th directly behind with Kevin Dow in 13th and Michael Haru there in 14th in the 7th machine. So great battling going on there from really 9th to 14th position. Those guys are all pretty close together.
And it looks like up at the front, top 5, they're starting to bottle up a little bit from 4th on back. I don't know if there was an issue there. Somebody stepped out and had to get out of it, but it allowed those guys to catch up. So now we got to battle up for 3rd, 4th, and 5th position. That
we do. Zach Sandlin under pressure from Richard Fletcher in the 043 down to turn 1 here as we look on. Looks like Jeff Carson also in this battle here. We started in that 9th position. He's up to 6th. He's going to get to the inside of Richard Fletcher as we're riding on the front bumper. Well, I can tell you,
entering that low into 3, you can make it work. But later into the run, it's just going to be so tight coming out of the corner there that if you get back onto the gas another long, it's real easy to go up into the fence. You're going to have to lose a lot of momentum just keeping the right side of your car clean.
Yeah, keeping the right side of your car clean is very, very important. You can lose lots of time by getting that thing crinkled up, and you just lose the downforce, man, and it just continues to make that balance issue you have worse and worse as the tires begin to wear.
Now, can say that we got a car spinning through the infield
of Byron McDonald. 035 having some issues here. He's gonna go through the grass. Looks like he's got it all together now, but we'll have to see him rejoin the racetrack here Now he's back to the 14th position. Now 15th as Matt Oprock gets by him.
Excellent job by BJ McDonald keeping that thing going. He was hauling mail through the grass there, still over 100 mile an hour. Good job keeping that straight and getting back on track. But unfortunately, he lost so much time. But clean car, he might be able to make it back if they get a caution and you know, maybe pit stops. He'll figure something out here. We'll have to watch him.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to watch him and see if he can get his progress back up the field as we look at Bob Fitzpatrick. They're running in the 7th position ahead of Michael Sheffield, who there, look at Michael starting to the pressure on. See if he can claw his way back up here into that 7th position where he started. From what I'm seeing, it looks like Michael definitely did save a little bit of tire because he's pulled away from the guys that he was backed up there to a little bit ago. Because he did lose a few positions on the start. We'll see if Michael can continue his climb back up to the field.
They set a really good pace right now in that 5 machine, able to reel in these guys that are battling for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and even 6th position. He's made up a lot of time just in turns 1 and 2 alone, Zach.
Yeah, he's looking really, really strong right now as we look on board from the blink cam. You see that red car just really making time on the guys ahead of him. That's Richard Fletcher ahead of him, Scott Taylor, Jeff Carson, and also Zach Sandler, our pole setter. As the front two have kind of broke away of Caleb and Randy. They're about literally just matching lap times almost every time here. Look at the battle to 17 of Kevin's lap duel side by side with Bob Fitzpatrick. Looks like he'll be able to make that pass and move up into the 8th position here as we go down the field.
Notice Bob's giving him plenty of room on the inside. I think later in the race you'll see him try to pinch him down a little bit more and take away his exit speed, but given plenty of room this early in the race. We're only on lap 17 after all, out of 45 today, so playing it smart early.
Oh, a little touch there between the 5 of Michael Sheffield and Zach Sandlin there as they go down to 1. And that puts Zach Sandlin, our pole setter, into the wall. He's going to slide all the way back to about the 14th position there. So big loss of time there for him as he gets into the wall. And the 5 machine continues his march forward. That'll now be the 4th position as he starts to put pressure maybe on Scott Taylor here for 3rd.
Yeah, they were clumped up a couple laps ago. They've started to spread out just a little bit now. But like you were saying before, the top 2, they're running, you know, within hundredths of a second each lap from each other, and it's almost you know, a 10th or so per lap better than the rest of the field. So they're putting on a clinic right now. We'll see how much the rest of these guys maybe saved up a little bit and close that gap.
Yeah, it's Michael Sheffield is looking very, very strong there as he moves into the 3rd position now from falling back all the way to 9th. So I definitely think he has played the strategy card of definitely conserving those tires, and he's starting to make his march forward through this field as he has gotten past Scott Taylor now, and that puts Scott Taylor back to 4th with Jeff Carson in 5th. And Kevin's lap wheel there for up from 11th. It looks like he's going to move into the 6th position here. So he's continuing his, or actually he'll be 17th, I believe, this time as he's got past Jeff Carson. So Kevin and Michael have both been making pretty good ground here, and Michael there with a really fast time, a 32.54 to the leaders 33.067. So very, very quick, and I think that's what we're seeing from tires right there, down to tires. But the thing is, these guys can only go 28 laps on fuel. So we're completing lap 21 here, Brandon. We're very close to making a pit stop.
You're exactly right, Zach. And looking at the, you know, Michael Sheffield's best lap compared to the leaders, they ran a 31.1. He ran his best laps at 31.8, so he saved a lot at the start of this run. And as we're closing in on pit stops, I think he may have figured out that you can't save quite that much because you just don't have the time to get it back, Zach. So I think we'll see him be a little bit more aggressive on the fresher tires once they come in today.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Brandon. He's going to have to definitely be more aggressive on the next run if he wants to go run these two front two down. He's definitely got great pace. The pace is there, but it's all about, you know, now making up the time as he made up about another 3/10 there on the leader, as even Caleb is starting to pull away from Randy. So Michael Sheffield looking like the fastest car from the racetrack at the moment.
As Michael Sheffield chases down the 2 leaders, we've got some cars starting to come in. The 03, the 94 of Steve Potter. Byron McDonald was in. He is back on the track. Everybody 4 tires and fuel to make it to the end here.
Yeah, definitely. You know, this is the time they can make it to the end. The fuel window had opened up, or the pit window had opened up, so we're definitely seeing some awesome stuff. Look at, I just noticed it's Matt Upbrook. There we go. It's pronounced Upbrook. He's got it in his name. So thank you, Matt. That's a big help. I like getting people's names right, and it's one of my my pet peeves is like when you don't get someone's name right and you just feel like, oh man, like I just slaughtered your name. But that is very helpful there. So Matt Upbrook there. Yes, that's very easy.
Yes, guys, if any of the drivers watch this back and we've absolutely butchered your name, feel free to correct us, send us a message, be like, look, this is how it's pronounced. We'll greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, and while that was all going on there, Caleb Kiloff, he is on pit road getting his service done in that number 10. So did the 5 of Michael Sheffield hit pit road right behind him. Randy Cornwell decided to stay out. So did Scott Taylor and Kevin Slabdale.
Well, this is going to be an interesting strategy because you want to try to undercut to gain time on older tires, but you kind of also want to wait a little bit longer to have slightly fresher tires to gain more speed at the end of the run. It's a very delicate balance, and you can very easily miss the mark and end up with a net loss, especially since it's such a short race.
Definitely so. There, it's very easy to just not get the timing right. It's one of the biggest strategy factors when it comes to, especially a short race like this. I think you really want to get it done as soon as possible. Get those tires on. Get the time built up, because it's going to be hard to run someone back down in a very short amount of time. And it's one of the tough things for sure. As we look at Randy Cornwell still continuing on, and see if you're Randy, you're sitting here thinking, if I can get a caution, I can catch a few of these guys a lap down, and I'll have fresher tires. So I think that's his strategy, is just to go the long game here and see if he can make that time back up if we stay green. And if we get a caution, he might get a lucky break here.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I agree with his strategy of doing that. I mean, we're on lap 28. He can maybe make it 1 or 2, depending on exactly how off throttle these guys are getting. But he already had pretty good pace, to be able to just hang with them on even tires. So I think I'd have come into pit with them when everybody else came down. I don't see you're going to gain much of an advantage with getting cautions back.
Yeah, and right behind him, here comes Caleb, and Caleb Kiloff there in the 10. He is not too far behind. He just went 3 wide past Kevin and Bob. So he is charging hard on the new tires. You can see the difference here is these other guys are going to be pitting here on lap 29. So they stretched it 1 lap longer than we were expecting. So good stuff on them there. But this is an interesting strategy. Is all 4 cars here pit.
Well, unfortunately, they are going to have fresher tires, Zach, but I think it's just not going to be enough. They might be able to get their lap back, but they're for sure going to go a lap down here. And I think now they're just looking for a top 10 finish unless they get a caution. But as cleanly as everybody's been running, I just don't think that's going to happen.
That is the question for sure. If the caution flies, they have the freshest tires in the field as they went the longest on them. So that may be right there the strategy also. So we'll have to see how that all plays out there as Michael Sheffield crosses the line there, the 2nd position. And he's about 5.2 seconds behind Caleb, so lost a considerable amount of time on pit road. So Caleb's got a nice little gap to build to try to hold off this 5. So I believe he stays green here. It's going to be tough for Michael to make that time up.
Yeah, looking at it, he ran a quicker lap with his fresher tires down to a 31.4. Huge improvement from the 31.8 that he set at the start of the race. But he's still running, 2/10 slower right now, and laps are winding down. They've got 15 laps now, 5-second interval, I just don't see he's going to be able to make it. So I think Caleb, he timed it perfectly when he decided to come into pit.
He definitely did time that perfectly to get out there, get the lead he has. And now with 14 laps to go, can he hold off Michael Sheffield with a 5.4 second lead? It's gonna be interesting. And the thing is, again, Caleb is having shown really strong short run or the early run pace. I mean, it wasn't like his late run pace was bad. It's just his early run pace is very, very good. He's continuing to put a gap here on Michael.
Yeah, it just seems like Caleb's early run speed is just good enough that when his tires fall off, the gain from everybody else that maybe took it a little bit easier, it's just so minimal that it doesn't quite matter. He's able to stretch out a huge lead here, and even now it's kind of stabilized. He's been at about 5.5 seconds for quite a few laps here, so I think he might actually be pacing himself now just to maintain that. But like you said before, if we get a caution, that completely changes everything.
Very, very true. As they were looking at Kevin Dowd, there he just got passed by Randy Cormo, who was one of the last to pit there on that last stop there. So that moves Randy up to 6th, Kevin back to 7th in the 023. And we'll see what he can hold on to here, as even Randy Cormo is starting to catch up to Bob Fitzpatrick too. So there's a few guys, Bob Fitzpatrick did a really good job on pit road, it seems like, because he's a good bit ahead of Scott Taylor. He's ahead of Randy Corbo, who came in behind, and he's a good bit ahead of Kevin Zalabdo. So
on track, half a second, it doesn't seem to it doesn't matter quite as much, being half a second ahead of somebody. But on pit road, that half a second maybe that you can be quicker than somebody, say someone slides through their box, or just doesn't stop quite center to where the crew just has to shuffle a bit. It makes a big difference on pit road, and you're seeing it here by how these guys have been able to gap each other, even though they came in at the same time.
Yes, they have. You see Randy here starting to close in with Jeff Carson. He's all in the back bumper. He's going to split the lap car of the 009 of Josh Holmes and go by Jeff Carson for that 4th position. Not too far behind Justin Malarkey. Randy's trying to get that podium position and secure him that top 3. As look, Bob Fitzpatrick now, he's going to go past Jeff Carson to move up into the top 5.
This is really surprising to me that these guys have been able to pull up, the speed and gain all these positions back. I thought for sure, they'd be playing in the top 10 if they could, but they found a lot of speed pitting that late. It actually surprised me how much the tires fell off for these guys that pitted maybe 5 laps earlier.
It's definitely playing out for him pretty well there. As we look at Scott Taylor, he's up to 8th now, and you got Kevin there behind in the 17. He's made his move past the 043 of Richard Fletcher to move himself up in the 9th. So yeah, the 24, the 17, the 3, and the 18 all making pretty big moves here through the field with the newer tires. Look at the 24. He's going to go by the lap car there, and then he catches Kevin Dowd in the 023 to go by him for the 7th position.
17 charging through the field as well. Close pass to Richard Fletcher, I think that was, but no contact, kept it going. And so far, we've seen a lot of calculated aggression, I guess you could call it, from these guys with slightly fresher tires. Just trying to get past as quickly as possible to, gain every bit of time they can. But it's been super close, almost contact quite a few times.
Yeah, it's always close. The closing rate on new tires compared to those 5-lap older tires, just that difference. The closing rate it's kind of crazy to watch there as Kevin Dow gets passed by Kevin Slabwheel in that 17 machine.
Yeah, that closing rate for sure is something that you have to be mindful of when you know that there's guys coming behind you on fresh tires. Late in the race, I understand wanting to, try to defend as good as possible, give them as good of a fight as you can, but sometimes, that closing rate, they're not anticipating it, and it can lead to a lot of trouble, and especially during cycles like this, that's normally where you'll find your cautions is that closing rate.
Exactly right. I mean, the thing is, it's just there's so many guys with different strategies. And like you said, it usually brings a caution. I mean, that's where you usually in the pit sequence. If you're going to get a caution, it's usually something to do with the closing rate of these cars. They fall off up to a second and a half, almost 2 seconds over a full run here at Chicagoland. And it's really, really crazy to see. So I mean, it's really that's what makes the racing, in my opinion, good though. I mean, you're looking back here at Steven in the 002 of Steven Rasek, and he's running in 15th right now, about 29 seconds behind the leader, so just ahead of our leader, Caleb, hanging on to the tail end of the lead lap there. He's about 4 or 5 seconds from Zach Sandlin there, who is was our pole sitter, and he's in 14th, so having a tough night.
Well, Zach, you talk about the difference on speed, and Randy, he came in on lap 29, and as opposed to Caleb and Michael's 24, and he's running, 2 tenths to 4 tenths quicker a lap.
Yeah, that's very true. Actually, I mean, it's a pretty big, sizable amount that he's running them down by, and even it's just one of those things where this is never over. I mean, we got 3 laps to go. If the caution comes out, these guys don't have a set of tires, so it'll be interesting to see if we can get to the white flag here without a caution. Because if so, I think Caleb's got this thing pretty much wrapped up. Even though Michael is coming in a hurry, but it's still, if we get a caution here with 2 to go, it could be wild.
Yeah, everybody's going to be on pretty old tires. Some guys slightly better, but older tires and restarts, it just creates a lot of chaos. It's entertaining to watch, but as a driver, it's nerve-wracking for sure. And like you said, I just don't think Michael's going to have enough. He's eating into that interval, but we've got coming to 1 lap to go here. I just don't think it's going to be enough.
It does not look so, as the white flag brought to you by Sheffield Graphics here at the Arca Evolution Series. Man, one more lap to go for Caleb Kiloff. Can he bring home the victory here tonight? He's got a 3.1 second gap back to Michael Sheffield. He's been super strong tonight, started from that third position in that Nissan. And man, he has made that thing look super strong out front in that Tim machine. He winds through 3 and 4 for the final time tonight. And he'll be looking at the checker flag. Your race winner here tonight, Caleb Kiloff. Sponsored by Sheffield Graphics. So what a race there. Michael Sheffield's going to come home in second. Looks like Bob Fitzpatrick they're going to come home in third after he got by Randy Cornwell in that 18. So top 3 there. Pretty cool stuff there to see all the different strategies as Bob Fitzpatrick comes home in that third position ahead of Randy Cornwell and Justin Malarkey there in 5th. So big movers. Bob Fitzpatrick from 12th to 3rd, 15th to 5th for Justin Malarkey. So Justin Malarkey did an amazing job. What a race.
Yeah, really good job by these guys, running a spectacularly clean race. You had a couple guys in the fence, but it didn't look like there was any, contact, anybody getting anybody else out of shape, just poor handling cars, and that's a product of it. But no cautions, and you can't ask for anything more than that.
Very true there, Brandon. We will go to a break at this moment to get our podium finishers set up for an interview, and we'll see what their thoughts are. And we will be right back. All right, we are back here at the Chicagoland Speedway for the Arca Evolution Series at Elite Racing Leagues. And we have our top 3 finishers here tonight from the Arca Series at Chicagoland. So let's get a talking with these gentlemen and see what their thoughts were on the race. So first, in third place here, we're going to talk to Bob Fitzpatrick. Hey, Bob, it's Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got that.
Hey, man, well, heck of a race here for you tonight, Bob. You started in that 12th position, buddy, and you worked your way all the way up to 3rd as we had a caution-free race and lots of different strategies playing out. You decided to go all the way 29 laps there and pit later, and it seemed to really work out for you there to be able to make up a lot of positions through that long green flag runs.
Yeah, I probably should have pit a little early, but I also was saving probably too much in that first run. But my tires were at 78 and other guys on my teammates were at 40. So I probably didn't push it hard enough. I don't know if I'd have had anything for Caleb, though. He was pretty quick.
Yeah, definitely some quick competitors out there tonight, man. And like you said, we were actually questioning that a lot up here. You know, we've seen some guys dropping back from their starting positions a little bit, and some guys definitely, trying to save the tire. And so you feel like you definitely saved a little too much there early on?
Yeah, in the first run. I pushed it a little bit in the second, but I don't know. I think I ran out of time pretty much because I was saving in the second run too, just in case of caution, because I'm pretty sure I wasn't going to catch Caleb with the amount of laps left, but probably 15, 20 more laps might have been able to get up there.
Yeah, definitely a very short race here, so you had not much time to work with there on them tires as was saving them, but still a great run here for you tonight, Bob. Be able to come up to the 3rd position, start 12th man. So congrats on that. And anybody you want to send a shout to before we let you go tonight, man?
Yeah, I mean, just shout out my wife. Let me do this every once in a while, and Clutch Motorsports.
Awesome stuff, Bob. Well, we will talk to you hopefully later, man, and congrats on the 3rd place finish.
Yeah, hopefully I talk to you after the next race.
Awesome stuff, man. Yep. All right, that was Bob Fitzpatrick. There you heard it. He'll be in the Cup Series race later after this broadcast, so in Talladega. So we'll see how that action plays out. Maybe he'll come out on top there as we finish 3rd here tonight. We'll move on to 2nd place here, Michael Sheffield in that number 5 machine. He was looking strong all night and really made a hard charge through the field there late on the runs. Hey, Michael, it's Zach in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you. You got me?
Yes, I got you loud and clear, Michael. Well, man, what a run you had here tonight at the Chicagoland Speedways for the Arca Series. You were able to start in that 7th position, and we noticed early on you dropped back to about the 9th position. And we were actually starting to question, was that a tire saving strategy? And it seemed to be that was your definite skill here tonight, because on the long runs, man, you were very, very quick. Was that the game plan?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much. I'm a tire kind of guy. I'm going to run that consecutive lap. I just stayed up high, let them all go by, knowing, if I preserve enough tire, that I was going to be able to run. And I was able to get up to 3rd before the pit stop, and he just got such a huge lead. I couldn't make up the time. I just fell too far back in the beginning. I cut him down, but nowhere near enough.
Yeah, you definitely were cutting into that time as we monitored that the whole time as you started to really pick up the pace there near the end of the first run. And then coming out there, you're about 5.5 seconds back. So you're getting 2.9. That was a really good run to get back to there for you. So congrats on getting the 2nd, Michael. Really, this track definitely eats the tires up a lot, and it definitely plays into that. But with the short amount of laps, you think that really is what played into you not being able to catch him? You feel like you had more time? Do you feel like you could have got there?
Maybe with more time, more fuel on the run, I definitely could get there. I probably played it a little too conservative at first in the first set. If I could have got there and maybe running a little harder in the beginning in the second set, but it is what it is. I'm not complaining about second. He did a good job tonight running. Hey, it's always next time.
That's right. It's always next time, man. And congrats on the 2nd place finish. And you still got one more race to go later tonight, too. So we'll see what you can do there at Talladega. But, yeah, bringing it home to 2nd. Anybody want to send a shout to before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to shout out to my teammates, Slide Jobs, Curtis, Matt, GT, and David. I want to thank Ryan. We joined forces here. I appreciate y'all guys coming on board. looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a great broadcast. So
Awesome stuff, Michael, and we'll hopefully catch you later on the podium too, man. So congrats on second, and we'll catch you later.
all right, have a good one.
All right, that was Michael Sheffield, your second place finisher here tonight in the Arca Evolution Series. We'll move on to Caleb Kiloff, your first place finisher, and remember this race win is sponsored by Sheffield Graphics, and we will get a talk here with Caleb. Hey, Caleb, it's Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Got you loud and clear, man.
Oh, man. Well, heck of a race for you here tonight, buddy. Starting in that third position. It seemed like from the very beginning, your mindset was just go out there and get the biggest leads possible because, man, you took off out there and just built the gap.
Yeah, I was kind of trying to prove a few people wrong tonight, and I feel like I did, so I'm pretty happy with the win.
Yeah, you definitely looked very strong in that number 10 Nissan there. It looked like the paint scheme too, gotta say. It's very, very nice paint scheme there with the Nissan. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, man, what a run here for you tonight. Where do you think what about this track do you think suits you? Because, man, you just looked really strong overall tonight. You had the short run pace, like you had some of the fastest, times right at the beginning of the run. But some of the other guys who had that same times, they really fell off later in the run. Now, you kind of kept, a pretty good consistent pace throughout the whole run. So how did you manage to make that work out?
Just focusing on throttle control and widening out the corners and just trying to get in the flow. Chicagoland is definitely a longer track, a mile and a half, but it's definitely still a flow track, I feel like. If you can get locked into that flow, it's pretty easy to just save tires and keep going.
Awesome stuff, buddy. Well, congrats on the win here tonight. That's an awesome job by you here at Chicagoland in this Arca Evolution Series. We had a great time broadcasting it. So again, congrats, and anybody you want to send a shout out to for this?
Shout out to Daniel Gonzo. Hope he gets better soon, man.
Awesome stuff, Caleb. Well, buddy, congrats, and hopefully we catch you later at Talladega, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, that was Caleb Kiloff, your winner here tonight. And remember, this race win is sponsored by Sheffield Graphics. They specialize in sim racing paint schemes as well as team logos and race posters. Also, you got to remember, they do not charge for the work. The only thing they ask is donate to the Folds of Honor with a link that is directly to their Sheffield Graphics Facebook page. So they have the link there. You can get sim racing paint schemes, team logos, race posters, all made there at Sheffield Graphics. And remember, it's for awesome cause too, the Folds of Honor. So, yeah, that's a great sponsor here we have tonight for the Arca Evolution Series and the race winner. So we will head to now your race results for tonight's Arca Evolution Series race here at Chicagoland. Bringing home the victory will be Caleb Kiloff. Second will go to Michael Sheffield. Third is Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. Randy Cornwell will be fourth. Fifth goes to Justin Malarkey. Sixth is Scott Taylor. Seventh goes to Kevin Zalapdil. Eighth is Jeff Carson. Ninth is Kevin Dowd. 10th is Matt Upbrook. 11th will go to Richard Fletcher. 12th is Steve Potter. 13th is Zach Sandlin. Our pole sitter, unfortunately, had a pretty tough race. 14th will go to Byron McDonald. 15th will go to Steven Rasick. 16th is Michael Haru. And 17th is Josh Holmes. 18th will go to James Courtrone. And 19th here, rounding out your field tonight, will go to Rusty Modesty. And that will be our official results here tonight from Chicagoland Speedway.
That is correct. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you everybody for tuning in here tonight for these Arca cars. Well, guess what? We're not done yet. We will be back live at 9:20 for RSR Racing League at Talladega. Round number 1 for their playoffs. So Zach and Brandon, it's gonna be a wild one, and hopefully it's good racing. But there's always one big one. Maybe sometimes there's two big ones, and sometimes there's just a big one.
That's right, Robert. Yeah, we should see some awesome racing. Big things on the line here, as you said. The playoffs kicking off tonight. Round number 1, or round of 16, race number 1.
Right.
So we got lots of stuff that could play out, and a pretty close field. I mean, it's really only 19 points separating the top 16. And remember that only the top 12 go through in these first 3 races. So you got to be on your P's and Q's, stay out of trouble to be able to get them points and advance to that round of 12.
Yep, and the underdog also can get a win and advance to the next round too. So, a win moves you on. So, when you get down to, first race, second race, but once you get to that third race and you're at that cutoff line, it becomes clawing time. That's just going to be some awesome racing. But all right, well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we'll see you at 9:20 here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on YouTube, and you can share it to your favorite social media platform of your choosing. If you're over on the Facebook side, we do appreciate everybody over there. Don't forget to hit that follow button, like button, and share it to your friends and family, and tell them to come out at 9:20 to watch some of the Talladega Super Speedway racing. But until then, Brandon, Zach, we like to say here from Chicagoland, God bless everybody. Love yous all. See you in a couple hour or so. But later, guys.
Later, everybody.